Amazon Prime Day and Newegg Fantastic Sale are finally here, and we have some very nice PC components discounts. So if you are looking for a gaming PC build with a smooth level of gaming performance, no FPS drops and high FPS in your favorite games, then this is the perfect video for you. Keep in mind that, as I said before, these are on a Prime Day or Newegg Fantastic Sale discount, meaning that I highly recommend you buying now. I will show you the best gaming PC for 1080p, 1440p and 4K resolution, all budgets included, and also I will show you the level of performance that you can achieve with each system. That way, if you want to buy one of these, you know what to expect. The links to every system mentioned today will be down below in the video description, with bonus PCs as well that I will be talking about in a second. My name is Valentino, and with that being said, let's start. With the first system, we have the cheapest one on the list, and this one is the 1080p Ultra / 1440p high gaming system. You can play any game that you want at 1080p very high FPS, but you can also use this system for 1440p high to ultra settings and a very smooth level of gaming performance. And I will get to the exact level of performance in a second, but the reason why this system is so great when it comes to price to performance is because of the CPU and GPU combo. Here you get the i5 12600KF, which is going on an insane discount for $140 total. For the graphics card, we have the RX 6750 XT, which is a 12 gigs of VRAM graphics card that will allow you to play any game that you want at 1080p and 1440p resolution. In fact, with this graphics card, you can expect over 98 FPS on average when it comes to 1080p ultra settings in the most high demanding games. By the way, when it comes to esports games, you can expect well over 240 plus FPS when it comes to 1080p competitive settings. And then if you want to play at 1440p resolution, high to ultra settings in high demanding titles, you can expect around 70 plus FPS. And if you turn on FSR, which is the upscaler from AMD, then you can expect closer to 80 or 90 plus FPS on average, depending on the exact game and the settings that you want to play. Now, for the rest of the components, you get an aftermarket CPU air cooler for you to have better temps. You get a Z690 motherboard with plenty of features for gaming and also for content creation and productivity work. And then you get 32 gigs of RAM, which is going to be ideal for streaming at the same time. Then you get a 1TB Gen 3 SSD, a 750 watt power supply, 80 rated by the way, meaning that you make sure that your PC is safe and it has enough wattage, and most importantly, the unit is good quality. And last but not least, you get a Montec Air that right now is going on a nice discount for $60. And in my opinion, at this price point, is one of the best price to performance cases out there. Now, this PC is well under $1,000 at the moment, going for $820. But remember that maybe when you're watching this video, the prices are different. So I highly recommend you checking the latest prices and availability from the links in the video description. Jumping up to 1440p ultra settings, this is the best 1440p price to performance gaming system in this video, and the reason why is because you get the Ryzen 5 7600X going for a very nice discount right now for $175 total. Now, this CPU is one of my favorites. I have tested the Ryzen 5, which is basically the same CPU with a slightly slower performance. You can pair it with very high-end graphics cards, so this system is also future-proof because you are on the AM5 platform. If you are a beginner, well, basically the AM5 platform means that you can upgrade your CPU down the line with newer CPUs from AMD in the next few years, and you don't have to replace your motherboard, which is very nice because otherwise, if you go for example with Intel at this price point and you want to upgrade your CPU down the line, you will have to replace the motherboard, and it's going to be more expensive and a headache. So this is a very future-proof system. And then for the graphics card, you get the RX 7800 XT, which is one of the best graphics cards in the market when it comes to price to performance. Right now going on a very nice discount, and it's well under $500. So amazing price for this graphics card that will allow you to play any game 1440p resolution, 100 plus FPS on average. And of course, you can use this system for 1080p if you want. I do believe that is a bit of an overkill for 1080p resolution, but you can use it and achieve higher frame rates if you want to, and you can also play at 4K 60 plus FPS depending on the game. Then you get a B650 motherboard with plenty of features for gaming, 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, which is faster than DDR4, especially if you want to play a game like Fortnite, 1080p competitive settings, and also if you want to play esports shooters, you can expect 240 plus FPS on average, competitive settings depending on the exact game at 1440p resolution. If you want to play at 1080p, then you can expect around 360 plus FPS on average, but once again depending on the game and the exact settings. And then you get the same power supply and same case, because these two are very nice in terms of price to performance, and you can get this case and power supply with plenty of systems, and it's not going to bottleneck your PC, which is the most important thing. And then you also get a 1TB and 3 SSD that, by the way, you can always upgrade down the line if you are running out of storage. The total price for this system is under $1,100 when I'm recording this video, and if you have more money to spend, then for around $100 more, you can replace the graphics card, and instead of getting the RX 7800 XT, you get the RTX 4070 Super. The RTX 4070 Super is going to be slightly faster when it comes to your gaming performance, with an average of over 108 FPS in high demanding games, and also the 4070 Super is better when it comes to its feature set, because Nvidia has a better level of ray tracing performance, and it's also quite faster when it comes to productivity work applications and video editing software. So that's something to consider. If you have $100 more to spend, get the 4070 Super, but keep in mind that the 4070 Super has 12 gigs of VRAM and the 7800 XT has 16 gigs of VRAM, and I am not concerned about the VRAM difference when it comes to 1440p, but if you play very high demanding titles, make sure that they are not exceeding 12 gigs of VRAM at your favorite settings and resolution for you to have the best gaming experience. Now, if you want the best level of performance possible at 1440p, no matter the budget, or you want to play at 4K high setting, then the next system is ideal for you. This one has the Ryzen 9 7900X3D, which is one of the fastest CPUs in the entire market, and it's going for a cheaper price than the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, and that's why I went with this one, because it's on a huge discount from the Amazon Prime Day sale. And then for the graphics card, you get, in my opinion, the fastest graphics card in the entire market for 1440p resolution in the RTX 4070 Ti Super. This one has 16 gigs of VRAM, so it's also very capable of 4K resolution, and at 1440p, you can expect 120 plus FPS when it comes to high demanding titles on high to ultra settings, which is a very insane number. And then if you go up to 4K, you can expect 70 plus FPS, or even more if you turn on DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia. I do like using DLSS, especially at higher resolutions. Then you get an aftermarket CPU cooler or our Ryzen 9. You get the same B650 motherboard. Here you get 2TB of SSD instead of 1TB, which is going to be ideal if you want to install more games. And then you get an NZXT case in the H5 Flow, in my opinion, one of the best looking cases in the entire market. And then last but not least, we have the same power supply, but this time this one is an 850 watt power supply instead of 750 watts, so you get more wattage for safety for this system. The total price for this PC is around $1,620 when I'm recording this video, and if you want to go cheaper and maintain the same level of gaming performance, then you can go with the RX 7900 XT graphics card, and it performs basically the same when it comes to gaming performance, but you lose the Nvidia feature set. So if you want to play with ray tracing enabled, for example, Nvidia is much better. But if you're just going to play native resolution in terms of rasterized performance, the 7900 XT is basically the same, and even slightly better in some cases than the 4070 Ti Super. The total price for this system, if you go with the 7900 XT, is going to be around $1,520 when I'm recording this video. And with the next one, we have the 4K ultra gaming system. With this one, you can play any game that you want at 4K, very high frame rates. In fact, you can achieve 85 plus FPS, 4K native resolution, no DLSS or anything like that. And the reason why you can achieve such good frame rates is because you get the RTX 4080 Super, which is one of the best graphics cards in the entire market. And you can of course turn on DLSS at 4K, and instead of achieving 85 plus FPS, you can achieve around 100 plus FPS depending on the game and depending on the settings. And then if you want to play esports shooters, you can achieve well over 500 plus FPS when it comes to 1440p competitive settings. However, if your main focus are esports titles, then you can spend way less than this and get about the same level of performance, but I will get to that in a second. For this one, I went with a 240 all-in-one liquid cooler. It is not necessary, you can get away with an air cooler, but in my opinion, at this price point, you might as well go for nicer aesthetics. And talking about aesthetics, here I went with the H7 Flow from NZXT, which is bigger. In my opinion, it's nicer. nicer, and it has 4 pre-installed fans. Then I went with 2TB of Gen 4 SSD instead of Gen 3, and I went with a better motherboard in the Gigabyte B650 Aorus Elite AX. This is a more premium motherboard compared to the B650 Eagle that I've been mentioning, and the total price for this system is $1,900 at the moment, which is a very good price for a PC like this one. Yes, it's expensive, but it's a 4K ultra gaming PC that you can also use for 1440p if you want to achieve very high frame rates, but I would recommend you using this one for 4K. And last but not least, I have 2 bonus systems. One is the best of the best. It is basically the same system as the last 4K ultra PC, but here you get a nicer liquid cooler from Corsair, quite more expensive, and then you get the fastest graphics card in the market in the RTX 4090, which will allow you to play any game that you want at 4K, and the average FPS is going to be around 110, which is an insane number considering I'm talking about high demanding titles on high to ultra settings. By far the best one when it comes to performance, but it's quite expensive. Total price for this system is $2,850, and you also get a 1200 watt power supply, which is going to be much needed because the 4090 requires more wattage. And then the second bonus system is the best esports PC. This one has the 17800 X3D for the CPU again, and you get the RX 7800 XT graphics card, so you don't have to spend that much to play esports shooters at very high frame rates. With this system, you can achieve 540 plus FPS, 1080p competitive settings, 360 plus FPS when it comes to 1440p competitive settings, and over 240 plus FPS when it comes to 4K competitive settings, depending on the esports shooter. Also, if you want to go for an Nvidia graphics card instead, because maybe Nvidia works better in your favorite esports game, then I recommend you going with the RTX 4070. The total price for the entire system with the 7800 XT is going to be around $1,250, and if you go with the RTX 4070 from Nvidia instead, it's going to cost you around $1,285. Remember that you will have all the links to this